Alright fellas, you're right back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be looking at Palmer and Regigigas at 1 out of 5 and no EX. I was going to give him the EX, but I can't speak. I hopped into a stage to test him out, and this guy can perform really fucking well without an EX. He doesn't need it, mostly because his Sync Nuke doesn't hit for anything anyway. You mostly rely on a support EX or, another nuking partner for your source of damage. And this is, of course, at 1 out of 5. I may 3 out of 5 him in the future, but I am waiting for the official reveal of Volo so I can see what candies I have to give him, etc., etc. So I don't want to waste some candies on Palmer just in case, I'm not prepared for other characters, most specifically Volo, that, I may want. So we're going to look at him here at 1 out of 5 without the EX and see just how good he is, and he's pretty good. I've done 3 battles with him. He's very consistent, pretty much. It's mostly his partners, and the diverse team setups that I give him that can, into battles that may require more attempts than normal, right? But still, this guy is, as an individual sync pair, is really fucking strong. So, looking at his stats, he has 689 HP, 161 in both defenses. That's fine. I expected him to be a little bit, tankier because it's Regigigas, right? You'd figure maybe like 190, 180 in both defenses, 700 HP, but whatever, it's fine. Of course, you can reach that with the EX, so that's not too bad. 336 attack, that's fine. Obviously, you would probably want the EX for it to be a little bit higher, plus obviously he can have the EX roll, etc., etc., but it's fine, it's not a big problem. 297 speed, that's a fine enough speed tier, you can definitely work with that. So overall stats, not too bad. Obviously, not anything crazy, but again, not too bad. Looking at his abilities here, he has Crush Grip as his damaging move, which does less damage the smaller the enemy's remaining HP is, and thankfully Pokemon Tools does have, or Pokemon Masters Tools, I don't know how you would say it, they do have some information on, how much damage it does depending on what amount of health is left. Looking at it here, if the enemy has 100% HP, it does 100% power, so 260 power, base power. 50% HP on the enemy or higher is 70% damage total from Crush Grip, and then anything less than that, 33% is 40% power, and then the rest, 20%. So pretty bad once you get the enemy below 33% HP, but of course he does have caveats or other ways to deal damage outside of that. So other than that, he's got Giga Impact, which is a crazy move. The deactivation condition is when the user uses any move, sync move, or max move a total of 5 times, and the deactivation condition is when the move is used. It is a 4-gauge, 1-use move. It lowers the enemy defense by 6, restores his HP by 50%, and has a 400 base power total. Very, very strong move here. This move is insane in its overall strength, and you'll see that when we get into the video. This move is insane. Of course, it does require the user to use normal moves, sync moves, or max moves 5 times in order to activate, but that's not too bad. Of course, you'll get that after the first sync move, and then you can use it to deal some good damage, and of course, debuff enemy defense, assuming they're still alive by that point. And then we have Normal Wish. Of course, it's one of his biggest things. He is a physical striker, so he is one of the very few strikers, or he's the first striker, I don't know, I don't feel like thinking about it right now, that has a zone available to him that he can set consistently. So this is very, very nice. And he's got his trainer move, which raises his attack by 3, his crit by 2, and increases his physical moves next by 1, and it's a 2-use move. So he's got a lot of physical moves next from this, which is great, on top of the normal zone and the good base power of Crush Grip, looking pretty good. And, of course, if we go to the max move here, he's got Max Strike, 450 base power, a little higher than your Giga Impact, so he's essentially got 2 max moves, just laying around, which is great. And it lowers the enemy speed, all enemy speed by 2, so that's very, very nice as well in case you need, speed debuffs for anybody who may have Cakewalk or a slow opponent sync or something like that, so you can definitely make full use of it. In his passive skills, he's got Sync Buff and Hit 3, Physical Boost 3, 9, whatever you want to call it. Increases his physical moves next by 3 after his attack move is successful when the team has a Sync Buff. So after using your Sync move or your ally's Sync move, he'll start getting +3 physical moves next every time he uses a Crush Grip or Giga Impact. Or does it also work for the max moves? No, probably not. But yeah. He gets +3 physical moves next for every single attack move he does after he has a sync buff on the team, which is amazing. He's also got sync freebie, which is very nice for the gauge efficiency because both of his moves are 4-gauge moves, so you do have to have something to deal with that for the most part. So the Sync freebie is very, very nice there. Awesome. And max move, free moves next. Also more free moves next after using the max move. So you don't have to worry about gauge some of the time when using it, which is great because you also have to set normal zone. So don't have to worry about that. But overall, this guy's got a lot of great strong abilities here at 1 out of 5 with the high base power moves as well as the pretty much infinite physical moves next he can get. He can look very insane, and he can make a lot of other normal types look insane, as we'll see later on. Obviously, I only have a very selective amount of normal types, so I can't pair him with everyone, but we have 2 very, very good examples of characters that can benefit from Palmer's abilities. So, let's go ahead, hop into the first stadium battle. So here's our first battle. It is against Darkweed Caitlyn. We have Red and Snorlax as well as the main character and Magneton. Red is here for mostly just sync countdown because we have double max move users as well as just potions and defense debuffs with Rock Smash. He's not here for anything insane, so don't worry about that. And he's here also for Support EX because we do not use Palmer Sync move due to it not providing anything. The Support EX is definitely just a lot better to go for here. I don't remember what I do here. Oh yeah, I think I try. Do I try and go for a Crush Grip? I don't actually recall. No, okay, so I do wait. I build up the physical moves next. Yeah, let's see how this goes. I probably could have used that Screech over there, but oh well, it's fine. So we go ahead, go for Red Sync move here for the Sync move, Support EX. And then we have +2 physical moves next on Palmer, and a super effective next, but clearly that's not going to do anything. Let's just go ahead and see here how much this Crush Grip hits for. 9,000 damage with +2 physical moves next, and him having more just down the road. That's not too bad. Especially, like, look here. So he's got +3 physical moves next from that ability. He sets up the normal wish, and then he uses Giga Impact. Let's see just what this is able to do. -3 defense on the enemy. Spoiler, one-shots. 24,000 damage, and of course he heals himself back, which is great. We go for the max move here. I don't know if it crits. I think it does, and it obviously just one-shots. It might. I don't remember. I recorded these last night and I was very tired, so if you see some inconsistencies or some misplays or anything, it's because it was like 10:30 and I was tired after editing for a while. Okay, 10,000 damage. It doesn't quite KO, but it comes close enough, right? It comes close enough to KOing. We go for the max replenish here just to do enough damage. It's not a big problem. The Sync move here definitely does a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure it hits about the same as that Crush Grip over there, because they do hit about the same. Yeah, about 10,000 damage. And we have the +3 physical moves next here to boost our next Crush Grip, because obviously, enemy being below 30% HP, it means Crush Grip has 20% of its maximum power, which a fifth of 26 is what, like, a little bit less than 5, or a little bit more than 5, so he'd have 50 base power on Crush Grip for the most part. So yeah, 2,000 damage, there we go. That was perfectly fine. So the big caveat with Crush Grip is that once you use it on the enemy and they're at full HP, you pretty much can't use it again. Maybe once more, but that's about the limit of it, so you do have to kind of work around that. But of course, he does have the Giga Impact as well as the max move and sync move in order to help him out, do some extra damage so you can get the KO. As well as, of course, having pretty solid partners, like Hugh is a very, very good one for sure. And I can't think of any other ones because whatever. It's fine. I can't think of any normal types off the top of my head, man, that can actually do, like, relevant damage. I guess maybe Norman and Slacking if you really want to nuke yourself as well as the enemy. Whatever. Either way, that was the battle versus Darkweed Caitlyn. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, here's a battle versus Steelweed Grimsley. We've got Aaron, Palmer, and Hugh here. This would be a better setup if you had some multipliers for the Sync Nuke on Hugh or Palmer, or if you had the Support EX for Aaron over there, but I didn't, so I'm pretty sure I literally just used Palmer's Sync move here, even though it doesn't really provide me much, just a tiny bit of damage. We do get the heals and whatnot because of Aaron, which is nice, and this is pretty much just showing Hugh's damage in normal zone. I wanted to be able to proc Hugh's passive skill, but I'm not kidding you when I say he literally never gets hit with recoil damage. I'm quite certain. Of course, I recorded this last night. I don't quite remember, but I'm quite certain he never gets hit with it. So we got the +2 physical moves next there from Hugh's move, and we just start spamming our head charges. We've obviously got Furious Brawn as well. I gave Hugh Super Duper Effective 1 as a lucky skill for the memes. I'm not kidding. But anyway, yeah, we've got the Furious Brawn for some multipliers, which is fine. Again, as I said, I do go for the Regigigas max move there. Sadly, we do not KO the Sneasel there, but that's fine. It's no problem, because we go into a max move, and I'm quite certain we go instantly into the Giga Impact after that. Also do consider this is with infinite field effects, so obviously I don't have to worry about setting up normal zone, which was a pretty useful factor for this battle. Just keep that in mind. As I said, yeah, Hugh just does not die. He just straight up doesn't. It would honestly be a lot better if he did, but he doesn't. As you can see, yeah, Crush Grip sucks. Crush Grip sucks once the enemy gets like probably below half HP. I would say it's just not worth using. There we go for the Regigigas Impact one-shot that side there, and we go for the head charge with Hugh. And again, he just doesn't KO himself. He just doesn't. The one time I wanted to, just for the funny and for the video, he doesn't. Otherwise, I would just use... I would use Head Charge, he would KO himself, and then I would use Head Charge and he KO himself again. That would be the luck I would have, or he would literally never do it, which is what he did here. So yeah, I think this highlights Palmer's great abilities of like debuffing defense, which is good for Hugh, though I don't think we actually needed it for this battle. Just the damage of his max strike and his Giga impacts, as well as his first few crush grips, are just absolutely insane. Even, again, 1 out of 5, no EX, no level 150, he's just level 140. Theme skills are maxed and sync grid's filled out, of course, but obviously that's it. This guy is just absolutely insane. This guy is an absolutely insane sync pair, so if you haven't picked him up, I'm sorry, but obviously, you know, if you didn't pick him up, you most likely just didn't want him, which is fair. But hey, this guy is absolutely insane, and I'm glad to have pulled him off of a daily. So yeah, let's move on to the next battle. Alright, here is our battle versus Marshall. We've got Sonia, Whitney, and Palmer here. This battle took a little bit of luck because it was to showcase Whitney's nuke, which we do get a really good showing of here, but it kind of makes Palmer look worse because you can't debuff the defense for Marshall over there, so the Giga Impact doesn't do anything for the most part, or, well, the defense debuffing doesn't do anything, and it was just the whole thing, right? So we do go for Whitney's nuke here as the first nuke. She has interference sync as well as her innate being paralysis requirement, which is why I have hostile environment gridded for Sonia there. So that was very good. We go for the crush grip just to get some good damage on that side. I don't even know if it ends up KOing that side. I don't remember. It does, actually. I do remember now. It does KO the side there, which isn't a problem. She does pretty good damage on her nuke under the normal zone, right? That's the big thing while we're using her Palmers for the normal zone. 14,000 damage is definitely very nice. And of course, we can rely on the 30% flinches, 60% if you do have the aggravation, but that's missing out on some multiplier stuff, so it's a little iffy, but it's fine. But we still do land the flinches, which is very nice. We go for the Giga Impact. It doesn't do too much damage, sadly, but of course, that's because the normal zone was not up. Again, I recorded this earlier. At this point, I just wanted the battle over with. It took me so long to get this run, not this one specifically, but because I was using a lot of different supports, trying to find the best one that worked, and so far, it took me a while to get this Sonia. All right, it took me a while. That's the big reason on why it took so long there. But yeah, whatever. So if you see some misplays, that's why. Normally, obviously, you would want to set up the normal zone and then use the Giga Impact, but of course, you know, whatever, right? It's just how it goes in the heat of the moment. 22,000 damage on Whitney's nuke with the inertia fully activated, as well as, I think, the paralysis and stuff. So, pretty good nuke for sure, right? No support EX, just the one sync buff. Off type, obviously, because we're normal types here. This is nice, honestly. I enjoy these sync pairs a lot, these types of sync pairs. Sadly, we did not crit on the max move there, but honestly, it's fine because we go ahead, use our stomp here, flinch them, and land the crush grip here. And since they're above 50% HP, it's, you know, only 70% damage or 30% damage reduction instead of having anything more than that, which would be insane. As I said, you would really want to use crush grip when the enemy is at 50% HP or higher. You would not really want to use it below that, because at that point the enemy is just, oh boy, they're gonna not take a lot of damage, especially in a stadium scenario. Maybe in a legendary arena, which we're gonna go check out now. We'll see how he does there with the crush grips and whatnot. So yeah, that was the battle versus Flying Weak Marshall. Let's go ahead and hop into the legendary arena after showing the grid for Whitney here. Yeah, so I gave her Crit Strike 1 because I don't have enough cookies for Crit Strike 2. I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead, hop into the legendary arena. Alright, here we are versus Tapu Bulu. We've got Sonia, Palmer, and Norman. Norman's here just for the funny. Here's the grid for him. He's got Paralysis Synergy and Static Shock, as well as Hostile Environment, so we can get some Paralysis stuff in there. Sonia's here again because she's good at buffing the stats for Norman specifically, but also because she's good for speed, defense debuffing, and gauge acceleration, which this team could really use because we're quite slow around here, right? We're quite slow. I'm not going to reset or anything for the specific buffs that I need, but it's fine. Okay, I'm not going to reset for the NPR on Sonia's trainer move. I'm not really too worried about that. Okay, hey, we got it anyway. I'll take it. 3,000 damage there from the Crush Grip. That's not too bad. We'll just... I probably could have saved that, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and go for Sonia's support EX here. We are doing some pretty reduced damage with the Crush Grips here, but of course we don't have the passive skill yet, so we don't have the +3 physical moves next after having a sync buff. That is one thing with Palmer you will have to, wait for in some scenarios, so to keep that in mind. Okay, so how's the Crush Grip doing? 3,000 damage, of course, but now let's see with the physical moves next. What is that going to be looking like? And of course we're debuffing defense slowly and slowly. Okay, yeah, whatever, that's fine. I guess we'll just go for an X attack. Okay, 6,000 HP. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Let's go ahead and set up a normal zone, and we'll just use the body slam here. See what we can do. We can obviously use Norman for the nuke here, which is nice because we do have the static shock, so that's nice there. Let's go ahead and do that. Go for the Crush Grip, and I'll heal up Palmer. I'm gonna hold off on healing up Sonia. She shouldn't need it. Here we go. Got the slacking max. Okay, that actually hits pretty hard. That's pretty good. I'm gonna save using the double-edged later just for like the memes. Holy piss. Okay, boys, calm down. Calm down now. That's actually pretty damn good. That's actually pretty good, man. That's actually quite good. Let's go for the max move. This should KO, right? I think so. Does it? It may. Okay, if it doesn't crit, obviously it doesn't KO. So let's just skip it. Is it crit? Ah, my luck. That is my luck. Let's go ahead and go for another Crush Grip and a tackle here. Okay, so that KO. Okay, no, it doesn't KO. Comes close though. Let's go ahead and go for another tackle, and then we'll go ahead and go for a double edge here, and then we will go ahead and use the Regigigas Impact, assuming we get the KO here, which we should realistically, right? Okay, normal zone is still up. Good. Hit for 10,000 damage. KO'd. I didn't mean to go for the sync move, but that's fine. KO'd Norman, which is what I expected. I wholeheartedly expected that, so that's fine. I wanted to go for the Regigigas Impact, but that's fine. There we go. 6,000 damage because we didn't crit. That is my luck. Regigigas Impact. How much is that doing? 36,000 damage. -1 defense with 4 sync buffs. Yeah, okay. Obviously, Palmer here, he's going to want not really a juice setup in a legendary gauntlet scenario, but he does want to be built around quite a bit because you do have to build around that Crush Grip damage as well as preserving the max moves and the Regigigas Impact, and of course, using the sync move at the right points and whatever else. But of course, that's for the legendary gauntlet experts to figure out. I'm not someone who likes to do legendary gauntlets too often. I just do it for the 10 runs, maybe 15 or something if I want cookies, tickets, whatever. I don't really tend to do it, but hey, I think Palmer can definitely look very, very nice against any given legendary arena, of course, if you meet the gimmick of that enemy. And of course, he does have the max move, which max moves, I believe, do go through every single legendary arena's gimmick. I could be wrong about that, of course. But him having the max moves is very, very good because max moves go through at least most of the legendary arena's gimmicks. I've tested it on Yuxi and it goes through that. I'm quite certain it goes through Latias and all of the others that are relatively older, right? So do keep that in mind. You can use the max move here as a nuclear weapon just in case like you don't have the ability to, for example, you need to give Cobalion a status condition. Maybe it's reached immunity and you're at the last health bar. Well, set up max strike. Use it, it may KO that entire bar for you. Something like that, right? Could be very, very good. Anyway, yeah, overall, Palmer is a very, very good sync pair, I would say for sure. Definitely one of the better ones of the September data mine. But of course, this is a very, very late showcase, being on October 7th. So, yeah. Oh well, it's fine though. Palmer, very, very great unit. EX, level 140. EX him, or not EX, sorry, no EX, level 140. If you do give him like level 150, the EX, 3 out of 5, the EX roll, obviously he's going to look so much more insane. But even just at 1 out of 5, level 140, he looks insane. So yeah, that's the end of the Palmer video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about him down in the comments below, and I'll see you all later.